Will America's debt ceiling showdown destroy the country? Will it save the republic? Or is it all big talk, no action? Yesterday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned the debt ceiling could hit in just 4 weeks, at which point the federal government would have to trim roughly 22.5% of the bloated waste it rains down upon the country each year. Now, you might say that's a good thing and we should just let the debt ceiling do its job, but of course, if there's one thing that unites Washington, it's keeping that sweet, sweet bloat running. So the best offer at the moment is from the sometimes small government House Republicans, who are offering to raise the debt ceiling enough to cover a year of deficit in return for reducing federal spending by $4.5 trillion, a fairly chunky number. Most of that comes from rolling back spending to last year's level, then imposing a 1% annual cap for the next 10 years. It also returns unspent COVID money to the Treasury and gets rid of Biden's student loan handouts that would have blue collars paying off college loans for the rich. But the biggest part in that offer includes a REINS Act mechanism. This would force Congress to vote on any major regulation. This would be an absolute game changer for the unelected deep state that steamrollers jobs and entire industries without the actual voters having a say. Meaning that today, Congress doesn't really make the laws, it just kind of lets the bureaucrats run the joint. Now, before you get excited, this probably won't pass because the Senate is run by the establishment uniparty who are quite pleased with the inflationary, debt-fueled crony system that we've already got. Meaning we are not going to get real reform until the voters have had enough, until they elect radical firebrands who will return us to the constitutionally limited republic we had for 150 years until FDR destroyed it, which he did, by the way, by threatening to pack the Supreme Court, known as the, quote, switch in time that saved 9. So until voters do wake up and demand more, Washington will continue to dig deeper trillion-dollar holes and kick can after can down the road at twice the price. That hole digging and can kicking has already delivered $32 trillion in debt, another $116 trillion in unfunded promises that politicians pretend is not there. All of that now paired with a rapidly retreating reserve currency dollar that had hidden the costs for decades, but instead turned out building up a wall of dollars that, if they do come home, would lead to bank failures and multiple years of soaring inflation like we have never seen. So what happens next? If parties cannot agree, the debt ceiling in theory hits as is, federal waste plunges, we return trillions to the American people, and we spare future generations life-changing debt they never asked for. If, more likely, Republicans cave again, it's back to the printing presses, the ones that drive inflation, that turn our economy into a zombie, running on handouts and easy money, and that force fresh trillions of debt on future generations for which they got nothing in return but very generously funded bureaucrats. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.